sort of hear. Yeah, it is a tattoo shop.
It's a tattoo shop. I think this is one of the first shops I've been to that you guys all use coil machines.
Yeah, everybody except we have a guest artist in town right now, and she uses a rotary.
That's
but
everybody
crazy.
Here
uses coils.
That's like not a common thing anymore.
No,
at
it's
this
not.
Point.
It's honestly wild. It's not.
I like coils, but I don't like how heavy they are on my hands. On my little hands.
Yeah. Have you used them with steel?
Like steel tubes
instead of disposables. That kind of helps balance the weight for sure. Yeah, it helps a lot. And it just, I don't know, it feels better in your hand.
Have you tried rotary machines or like the dildo machines ever?
I'm afraid.
You're afraid?
I'm afraid of them.
Why are you afraid of them?
I don't know, because I've never used one, so I'm just scared. I'm like, I had somebody use a rotary on me, and it was her first time ever using one, and she like chewed the fuck out of me, and it was like one of my gnarliest heels I've ever had. It was so tough, and ever since then I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm afraid of that. So.
I think it's like I learned on a Bishop. That's what my mentor had, so that's what I ended up getting.
Yeah.
Which I've switched now to an FK Irons. But I did a guest spot in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and that guy is like freaking old school, super older than me. Like, coil is the way. And I tried it there, and I had that effect where I was chewing people up because I didn't know how to use it.
Really? Yeah. See, I feel like there's a learning curve.
It hits really hard.
Our guest artist, she is afraid of coils for the same reason that I'm afraid of. Like, it's like a learning curve on both sides, I think.
Yeah.
So
I liked it after using it a couple of times, but I always used a different coil machine because I didn't have one myself, so I was borrowing other people's.
That's hard too because they all look different.
So I don't know with the one I used in Eureka what it was called, but then I came back to Oklahoma and I used my coworkers, and he had a Dan Cuban Sidewinder, and it was nice.
Probably the closest to a rotary. Honestly.
It was really nice. Yeah. But like I learned like with the pen machines, you have to push in more. I feel like work harder to get the line, and with the coils, I don't feel like I had to do that. It was just hitting.
That's true. Yeah, because they don't have a give, so you just kind of like you just have to.
Yeah, you just fucking draw.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's nice. It's just like for me, it's too much stuff.
That's fair. You know, we were talking about that earlier with coil machines. If you're doing anything with like bold lines, I feel like coil machines are the way to go.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to do that with a rotary. I feel like to get like really bold, saturated lines in people. So
yeah, I feel like I have to like turn the voltage way high up, and I use like a round liner if I want like a thick liner, and it's still like you gotta fucking stretch real good. And
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like more versatile with your hand movements. I feel like it's better on your wrist. I think. I don't know.
Which coil machines?
No, rotaries. I feel like would be better. Yeah, better as far as like over time, you're not like gonna get carpal tunnel from it.
Yeah, I worry.
I got carpal tunnel like
for real?
2 weeks after I graduated my apprenticeship. I got carpal tunnel. I was like, oh no, what have I done?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude, that's fucked. That sucks. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh.
I'm like, it's not bad enough to. I haven't done anything about it yet, so.
This is so
when
funny.
I'm old.
Yeah, whenever you're old.
Yeah, I'll deal with it then.
Yeah, no retirement tattooing until you die.
Yeah, I mean. No, we don't have that. We don't have retirements in this industry.
Yeah, very glamorized to get into tattooing.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad on the phone about that this morning because I was like, even on my days off, I fucking work like doing this or making flash and
it's
stuff.
Your whole life.
Yeah, and then these kids come in and they're like,
yeah, they think it's like I don't know, like you're gonna be like. I think it's that like what we refer to as like the rock star mentality.
Yes.
Like everybody, because the tattoo community is so like such a small community that everybody knows who the tattooers are, and so they think that they just think it's like this really cool job or cool persona or something. And it's not that. It's not that.
It's awesome, but it's also really difficult.
It is.
And I wish more people knew that.
Yeah. No. I had a baby a year and a half ago, so I work less right now, and I've just been lately like, should I get a different job? Like, the homework from tattooing stresses me out beyond belief. Like,
especially having a kid.
Everything leading up to the I love tattooing. Like, physically tattooing people is like, that's my favorite thing. It's like the only time my brain is calm and like I feel good. But everything leading up to it, all of the homework, the drawing time, like all of the like, I'm thinking about how I'm gonna draw a tattoo.
Yeah.
All day, every day until I actually do it, and that part, like nobody talks about that getting into it. It's like it's all consuming. It takes over.
Yeah, you have to be your own boss too, and I feel like a lot of people don't have that in them to like
a lot of people
self-sustain.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, even, like, if you're not busy with clients, then you have to give yourself homework. Like, I need to make Flash to get clients. I need to make videos to get clients. It's not just about tattooing anymore. So it's really hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. And then you have to have, like, you have to be, I don't know the word I'm looking for, like, very, you have to have, like, that, like, self-control or, like, self-motivation.
Like, discipline.
Like, yeah, that's the word, discipline. Yeah. You have to, like, you have to be hard on yourself to, like, keep doing it because nobody else is going to be.
No one's going to get on to you for it.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, especially, like, working at a shop. They're just, like, you're an independent contractor. You come and go as you please. So they're not, the shop's not, you know.
Yeah, not involved. Yeah.
It's you.
It is. It is all you.
But it's a really good career.
It is, yeah. It definitely, I mean, I've been doing it a long time, so I can't see myself doing anything else. But it is stressful. It's very stressful.
I think that's how most people feel.
Yeah, I think most artists are, like, stressed out all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if you're a good tattooer, you're kind of just stressed out all the time. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Is it going to be perfect? It needed to be perfect.
Yeah. And then you go home and you're like,
Yeah, and then you, like, stare at the pictures too much and you, like, zoom in.
And you're like, oh, that one. Yes!
Just, like, the one, like, oh, that
nobody's ever going to see it.
No,
Nobody cares.
No,
it's
but
just
you
you.
do.
Yeah.
I know. Exactly. I was thinking about making, like, some sort of, like, reel or something of all the tattoos that are in my camera roll that I haven't posted, and then why I didn't post them, because then I'll go back years later and be like, that was sick.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Tattoo. Yeah. No, I just recently posted, like, 2 tattoos that I did, like, 3-4 years ago, and I was, like, looking at them, and I was like, why didn't I post that? That was a sick tattoo. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, this one line here, or, like, oh, it wrapped too much, or just, like, stupid things that, like, it's only me that thinks that. All right, I just need to put it out there.
Yeah, I think we're all very much in our heads. If you're a good artist,
I think we're all very critical of our own stuff for sure.
I don't trust the artists that are like, this tattoo.
They just, like, print it off Google, trace it.
Oh my god,
slap that on there.
Dude, I didn't know, like, whenever I started my apprenticeship, the amount of fucking artists I met that were like, I had this one guy I worked with, and he was like, pick this photo. Which photo from Google should I tattoo? And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, when I was an apprentice, I had to, like, they'd be like, go make me a line drawing, like, make me a stencil, and it was always just, like, a printed tattoo from Google, and they're like, yeah, just fucking trace that. I'll tattoo it.
Dude, that's just crazy.
It's crazy.
I didn't even have a fucking iPad until I started apprenticing, and then they were like, you need to get an iPad because that's just
the
thing now. Yeah.
That's crazy. We just graduated 2 apprentices, and we kind of had, like, the opposite thing where they weren't allowed to draw on their iPads until I felt confident in their line work on paper, like tracing paper especially. I think like a micron on tracing paper, I think that teaches you a lot about, like, keeping your hand steady, and like if we made them trace, like, a bunch of Flash, like
all the Sailor Jerry books and shit.
No, like, not necessarily Sailor Jerry, but just, like, Flash in general. Like, we would be like, okay, I want 5 sheets of roses, like, hand traced, and if it's smudged, it doesn't count. If it's bad, it doesn't count. Like, by the end of their first week, they're like, oh, this is a lot. Like, yeah, man, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I did it with them the first couple weeks when they were on the roses. I also went and, like, drew a bunch of roses and traced out the same amount of sheets that I required of them. And I like to do that every now and then because it does help with your line work.
Yeah.
Like, it really, like, going back to pen and paper as opposed to an iPad, it's, I don't know, there's something different about it.
It's
so
very
beneficial.
different.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever I started on the iPad, first off, it's fucking cheating. That's what I always felt. 100%. I know there's so many artists out there that's like, it's not cheating, it just gives you more tools, and it's, like, new in the world. But it's cheating.
Or, like, people with tons of brushes that are just, like, stamp brushes.
Or, like, just the fact that you can do a circle and hold, and it becomes a perfect circle. You can't fucking do that on paper. Like, and then, like, my biggest thing was, like, I feel like there's a delay within the iPad pencil and the iPad comparatively to paper that I had to, like, figure out.
It's a learning curve, for sure.
Because all I did was pencil portraits, like graphite portraits. That's all I did before.
It is very different.
It's
especially,
super different.
Like, learning the pressure, and then, like, the pen on the iPad is, like, it's such a slick movement. Like, trying to get, like, nice line work on that was so hard for me. It was so hard.
What's sad now, too, is, like, when you draw on paper, you're, like, trying to
Dude, have you ever done it on a tattoo where you, like...
No! You've done it on a tattoo?
More than once, too, where I'm, like, I've, like, done, like,
try to zoom in.
Or, like, I did something, and then, like, out of habit, like, tried to erase it. I was like, wait, hold on. That doesn't work.
That's
the
so
client, like, looks
funny.
at me like, yeah. Like, I'm trying to tell them something, like, oh, nothing.
Do you ever, like, whenever your client's, like, telling you a crazy story and you're like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy, and then they're like, what are you talking about? Like, they think you're talking about their tattoo. They're like, are you good?
Or, like, if you, like, oh, shit, like, if you say something like that, and it's, like, not a big, it's like, oh, I forgot to pour a color or something, I'm like, oh, fuck. And they're like, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I forgot something, that's all. It's like, oh, okay. Or at the end, when you're, like, wiping it off to take pictures, and you're like, I forgot a line.
Oh my god, yeah. Or you take the photos and then they leave and then you realize you forgot something.
That just happened to me, and I was like staring at it and I was like, why does that look so weird? And then I realized that there was like one section that I forgot to fill in, and I was like, no.
What do? Do you just tell them and have them come back?
Yeah. Like, hey, I'll see you in 4 weeks. But you're gonna need to come back.
That's nice.
Usually they didn't even notice, but as soon as you point it out, they notice.
Yeah. Or somebody else points it out to them.
Yeah.
Somebody else sees their tattoo and then it's like, oh.
Yep. What's that?
Yeah.
Don't look at that. Yeah. Don't look at that part.
Welcome back to Tattoo Consciousness, the podcast dedicated to all things tattooing. In this episode, I sit down with Taylor, owner of Area 69 Tattoo in Fort Collins, Colorado. We dive into a wide range of topics, from where the tattoo industry is heading to balancing motherhood while building a tattoo career. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to explore the other episodes and share with your friends and family. Your support means the world. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Tattoo Consciousness Season 2, and I'm here with Taylor. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of what your style is and where you're located?
Yeah, I'm Taylor. I'm a tattoo artist in Fort Collins, Colorado. My style, I have no idea. It's very, I don't know, it's like, it's not traditional, it's not really neo-traditional.
It's very
not
bright,
really
though.
new school. It is very bright. I love color. I love working with color. I think a lot of, it's recently been referred to as illustrative. That probably.
Oh, really?
I think that maybe is a good word for it. I don't know. It's very different, I think, than it's hard for me to, like,
categorize it.
It is, yeah. Because I always wanted to do neo-traditional, but I don't think that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
it just became your own thing.
Yeah, it's definitely different. What was I forgot the other question.
Oh, where you're located.
Oh, Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Area 69.
Yeah, Area 69.
Love that name. I think that's so good.
Thank you. Yeah, my husband and I own the shop, and we were just, like, trying to figure out names one day, and I think we were at, like, IHOP or something, trying to figure out names, and we were kind of just, like, jokingly going through, and he was like, what about Area 69? And we both, like, giggled, and I was like, I think that could work. It's very fitting. If you know us, especially my husband, it's a very fitting name, I think, for us. So it worked out. I don't know. Also, our anniversary was the day that they raided Area 51. So it's like extra funny that became the shop name.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little head nod to that.
How long have you guys had this shop now?
Let's see. I think just over 2 years.
Did you initially open it with just you two, or did you have a third artist a part of it?
Yeah, it was just us when we opened up, and then we had 2 apprentices when we first opened up as well. My sister, actually, and her roommate were living in Lakewood trying to get apprenticeships down there, and, like, it was wild, the things that, like, I don't know, I was just like, that doesn't make sense to me. That's not, I don't think that's ethical practice. Like, why don't you guys just come up here and we'll teach you? So that's kind of what happened. Yeah. And then we ended up with 2 apprentices, and then after a while we started hiring people and kind of rearranging the shop to fit more people. But originally it was just supposed to be us.
Yeah, like a private studio.
Yeah. I think we had been working in street shops for so long that we just needed a break from the roommates, I think, for a little while. And just the 2 of us, and it was really nice. It was really cool, and we really enjoyed the environment. We kind of wanted it set up to where if somebody came along and we, like, felt like we vibed with them and that it would work out and, like, it would, like, benefit the environment that we've created, then we would hire them. But we never wanted to be in a position where, like, we needed to have artists in order to function.
Do you feel like sometimes at the shops, I've worked at shops that have, like, 12 to 16 artists, and then I've worked at shops that have, like, 4 artists. In your opinion, what do you think is, like, better? because it's a lot of personalities.
It is. I think what matters more actually is the environment. I think because I worked at like a really busy street shop in town, and when I worked there, the crew that we had was like a dream team, and like we all got along really well, and like we had fun with each other. And I hated it because the environment was just like chaotic. It was just walk-ins all the time. There's piercings coming in and out all the time. We were having to like answer phones mid-tattoo.
Oh, I hate that.
It was, and that kind of environment kind of just like just breeds like that idea where I don't know, like tattooers can be like kind of abrasive and like kind of. I was kind of an asshole when I worked there, and it was just like I was so stressed out all the time that anytime somebody would walk in, I was not pleasant to them because I was like, you are interrupting my focus right now. Like I am balls deep in a tattoo and I don't want to answer piercing questions. So that was really hard.
Yeah.
And I definitely like the environment where we're at now a lot better. I think I don't know, like there's not like drama here. Like we're just very like everybody's just kind of friends. We hang out, it's cool. I think it's a way more chill environment. But I think when you're first starting out, I think the bigger shops are better because you can meet more tattooers and you meet more people with different, I don't know, different styles, different techniques. I think it's really beneficial in the beginning, and then I think you outgrow it as a tattooer. I think you just outgrow that shop, and then you want to, I don't know, just focus on one thing or one style or I don't know. It's different, but I definitely like this setup better, like a lot better.
Every shop except for one that I've worked at has been like private. Like
really,
just because of like the last shop I worked at in Oklahoma, we had walk-ins, but it was like not located and like you had to find it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the walk-ins weren't
like
natural,
walk-ins.
and if they went to anybody, they went to like our walk-in guy because I already had appointments.
Right.
But like starting out, the shop I apprenticed at was all private, and it was like I had to run ads and get my own clients, and that was really, really hard.
Yeah, no, I think that is really hard. My sister and her roommate that we apprenticed here, we told them from the get-go, like, we're gonna teach you everything we know, and we don't know everything, so like you're gonna continue to learn when you leave here. And then it was discussed in the beginning that we would teach you and apprentice you. You'd get through like we had them do 50 tattoos for their apprentice tattoos, and then we were like, and then when you're ready, we want you to leave. We want you to go work in a street shop, just because the experience. I like. There's nothing like that. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without street shops, without doing walk-ins and like all the soul-sucking parts of tattooing. I wouldn't be nearly the like caliber that I'm at right now. That would not have been attainable in a private studio, I don't feel. I think the exposure of just like tattooing every day, all the fucking time,
and so many different things you're tattooing. Like the walk-ins are always different.
Some of them are crazy.
Whenever I was at the private studio, it was just like all I wanted to do because I was the one getting my clients. So it was the flash sheets I was putting out, and I feel like that's a little bit of a detriment because when you're starting, you should be doing the tiny shit and the like the cursive and all that stuff. And like
no, for real. No, when my sister she just went to a different shop, and when she started there, her first day she got lip tattoos, like inner lip tattoos. And she's never done script before. So she was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, yes, you do. It's just lines. Just like follow the. But it was like that was like really scary for her because when she was here, she was just doing like traditional, like only her flash, only things she felt comfortable with. But that's like why we wanted her to go there. It's like, yeah, man, like you're not ready until you do it. You kind of just throw them to the wolves, and I don't know. I feel like since she's been there, I have seen like the greatest improvement in her work, and I think it's important. I don't know. I don't think I would have been successful nearly as quickly without the walk-ins. The walk-ins are just like, and it forces you outside of your comfort zone too, and I think that's really important in tattooing.
Do you think it helped you like develop your style of where you're at now because you try 100%. So many different things?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it really did, especially like a lot of walk-in stuff isn't like a lot of it at the rate that we were doing walk-ins, it was constant all the time, and so I wasn't like freehanding a lot of them. A lot of it is just like, okay, trace it, tattoo it, trace it, tattoo it. And in doing that, my style like started to develop just from like the muscle memory of tracing things. I started to get into a rhythm of like, oh, like that's what that shape feels like. And eventually it just kind of, my style just kind of like molded from doing that. where it was like I learned the basics, I think, from just tracing things and tattooing them and tracing and tattooing, and all the little like fine line stuff has helped a lot in my work now, for sure, because I do a lot of like fine line details, even though they have bolder outlines. And I wouldn't have been able to do that, I don't think.
I've talked about this with like some other people I've interviewed, and I interviewed a fine line artist recently. She's in New York, and I have so much respect for them, honestly. I know they get like shit on by like old school tattoo artists, but dude, I hate doing small tiny stuff. It's so hard. You can't hide anything in them. So you need, like, I like doing the big stuff, so when I do those little tiny ones, I mean, I'm sweating, but when I'm doing like a big piece, I'm like, this is so fun. So I'm like, those fine line artists, man, they kill it. I mean,
well, and also too, like, working at a shop that's really busy and you're tattooing all the time, as long as you are nice to your clients and you treat them well, they come back to you.
That's true.
And the more they come back to you, now that I've been tattooing for as long as I have, I was able to see a lot of the fine line stuff that I did, and I was able to learn from a lot of my mistakes with fine line, and to like really be like, okay, so that's the line. I need to like take it back a little bit as far as like detail and stuff, but I think fine line tattoos can heal great if you are aware of how they're going to age over time. I don't know, people shitting on it, it's like there's some truth to it, but also like
I think it's dependent on the artist who does them, though.
I do,
you know?
I think so.
I don't know, I can't remember this guy's name, but you know, people shit on like palm tattoos. They're gonna fall out. Palm tattoos suck. But there's this guy, I think he's in the UK, and he does fucking stellar palm tattoos. That's all he fucking does, and they heal great.
Stick great.
They stick.
No, it's honestly, it's a technique. It's very much a technique, and anytime people have asked me to do it since this debacle, I've been like, I'm not your guy. Somebody's your guy, and it's not me.
At least you're like that, because I know too many artists that are like, oh, I'll do it just because they want money.
Yeah, I don't know. I that's not me. I don't think that's ever been me. If I think there's somebody else that can do the tattoo better, then I will 100%
like recommend.
Like if I think that I can do that tattoo well and it would be like my best work for them, then for sure, like I want to do it. But if it's something that I'm like, you're gonna get a better experience and a better tattoo from somebody else, like I will always send them to somebody else.
So now that you're like, you've been tattooing a while and you're more established, do you ever tattoo things that are outside of your style anymore, or do you pretty much just do your style?
So for the most part, I do my style, and I think that actually has more to do with Instagram, social media, because I wanted to do something so specific for so long. It was all I would post, and so like there's not black and gray on my page. I'm very good at black and gray tattoos. I just don't post them, and so people don't come to me for them as much. But every now and then I get people that are like, I really want to get this, and so recommended you, and like, is this something you can do? And I actually, now that I don't work at a walk-in shop and I'm not forced to do it all the time, I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy like when I get like little Pinterest tattoos that they trust me because I've been tattooing them for however many years, and because they trust me, they come to me, and I actually love it. They always like feel bad being like, oh, like I know this is, I'm like, this is fun for me, because at that point it's not like so like in my head, it's not like artwork that I'm like very like, I don't know, focused on. I don't know, it's like a break for my brain to just do some like little script, or it's nice. I'm like, oh, tattooing can be fun.
It also means something to that person, and you could do that little tiny cross on somebody's wrist, and then they get you 3 people in. For sure. So I think it's definitely how you treat your client, like you were saying earlier. Sometimes I think that matters. Like when I started, I was not doing the best tattoos. Obviously nobody does when they start. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Have nightmares.
But I think what really mattered was the way that I treated the people coming in, and so then they came back to me, like just talking with your clients. I hear so many times like, my tattooist doesn't talk to me, and there's a lot of people want to be talked to while they're getting tattooed. I think that I'm starting to see that more now with like the newer generation of tattooers wearing headphones while they're tattooing. And like while I can kind of understand, like, it is, I like when I am tattooing, I do kind of hyperfixate a little bit, and so like there are parts of the tattoo where I'm not talkative, but like to just like completely block your clients out like that. I've had clients that feel really like, I don't know, they feel pretty strongly about that. Like it kind of ruins the experience for them. It makes them feel, or
if they would prefer to not talk and they want to wear headphones, that's fine. But I think that you should like be communicating with your client. I think completely blocking them out sends like a weird message to them. It's like a weird experience. It's such an intimate thing, like tattooing people. It's like an
energy exchange.
It is, and I don't know. They're like, it's a very vulnerable time for them, and I think that you should be present for that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree with you that, like, if they are comfortable with it, like, I did a sternum piece not too long ago before I moved from Oklahoma on a really great client of mine. She just came to me all the time, but it was a hard piece, and we had to also do cover-ups on her boobs underneath them, so she wanted to lock in, and so headphones, and I wore headphones, and we freaking locked in and did it. But, like, I don't really like the attitude of the headphones. Like you said, I like talking to my clients.
Yeah, I like to yap. I'm a big yapper, and I feel like, I don't know, I think I'm like fortunate now at this point in my career that a lot of the clients that I do tattoo, they've probably been getting tattooed by me for a while, or like, I don't know, I feel like I attract like a very certain like type of person, and I don't know, like I do feel like right now I feel more that my friends or my clients are kind of more like friends to me than clients.
I think that's how they should be treated. Of course, you should have boundaries with people, but I don't think you should treat them like it's a money exchange.
Like you're just like checking them out at the grocery store. No, I agree. I think, I don't know, I also like, I love just like getting to know people like that, and then like the lore of everybody. I have some clients that have been getting tattooed by me for so long that like they know some of my family lore, and they come in and they're like, what's the tea? Like, what's the latest? And I love that. I think it's so funny. So, I don't know.
How long have you been tattooing now?
Jesus. I think I graduated my apprenticeship around like 8 years ago, and then before that I did a 3.5-year apprenticeship.
Oh, that's long. That's like how Oklahoma is. Mine was 2.5 years.
It was brutal. It was just like, God, this is taking forever.
That's a long time.
So I've been in tattoo shops for like 11 years, but I don't know. I also don't really count like my apprentice tattoos. I'm like, those don't, like, I've been doing good tattoos for like probably like 7 years, I think.
Well, for as long as you've been tattooing, you talking about you have like so many returning clients. How has it been like watching your work evolve over the years? Because I'm sure you have somebody come in and you're like, oh shit, whoa, like that's a blast from the past.
And now we're doing a season 7 on them. Yeah, that's always like, I don't know, that's a double-edged sword for sure. Because like I see my older work and I'm like, oh boy, let me fix that. But if they love the tattoo, then I don't say anything about it. But if there's even like a hint that like, oh, like this one needs touched up, I'm like, yes, please, let me fix that. Like, I don't know, it is weird, but I think it's humbling. It's very humbling to see where I was and like where I'm at now.
Do you feel like, I feel like this is with a lot of just artists and creatives in general, but like you know, you never, in the moment, you never see the fruits of your labor. You're like, when am I going to get there? When am I going to get there? So, like, for you seeing those tattoos from the past, does that make you feel like, oh, I am, like, I'm doing
sometimes,
good?
Sometimes. Sometimes I'll do, like, a tattoo that I'm really proud of, and, like, I'll look at it and be like, yeah, I used to just, like, zoom in on people's tattoos on Instagram and be like, how did they do that? Like, just obsess over it. Well, I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing at all. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's how they did. Like, sometimes something will just happen, usually on accident, and I'll be like, that's it. That was the thing. So that's cool.
But I did want to ask you about, you mentioned it a little bit, but you're working 2 days a week, correct?
I am, yeah.
And you're a mom. How is that with tattooing? That's a lot. Tattooing's hard in itself. Tattooing's a baby, and then you have a real human baby.
No, it's not for the weak. My husband and I have talked about, like, do we want another kid? And I'm like, I think if I were to have another child at this point, I would have to quit tattooing. Really? Like, I don't feel like I could give 100% to tattooing and also 100% to my kids. And that's why I'm doing 2 days a week right now. Like, I want to tattoo still. Like, I do still enjoy tattooing. It's very hard. It's the hardest it's ever been for me right now because I am unable to draw a lot of the times. Like, my kid doesn't fucking sleep, and it's just like, I don't know. It is very stressful. So I don't know any moms out there that are tattooing. Bless your heart, because it's not easy work. I don't know. It's been tough, but my clients are like, they're very understanding.
Mm-hmm.
They're like very patient with me, and I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that a lot. Where like people aren't like bummed out that I can't tattoo on certain days or whatever, and I'm flexible about it if I can be. My husband and I will just switch. So like he tattoos in the morning and then I tattoo when he's done. So like if he's not doing 2 tattoos that day, then I can squeeze somebody in with enough notice. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard work. I don't know, tattooing's really hard, and it's harder I think when you're like out of practice, but I don't know.
I have a family friend that like I've grown up around, and he has kids, and his like biggest thing is like he's taken big chunks of breaks from tattooing because he wants to put effort into his kids. Like he was telling me like one of his kids wants to learn how to skateboard, but he's worried about breaking his wrist because that's his career and he's like the breadwinner. So I can understand it's like totally like
my husband has that issue a lot too, where he like misses skating and stuff, but he's like, I can't lose these. Like these are too important. Yeah,
I think about that. Me and my boyfriend, we rock climb at the gym together, and he has done outdoor rock climbing. That's like his thing. But I worry about slicing my hands or hurting myself in any type of way. And he's like, it's actually safer than indoor rock climbing. I'm like, I don't know about that.
like, I don't know.
I'm like, if I'm not working, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part about being a tattooer is like we're not paid hourly. Like
we don't even get paid to draw or anything like that.
No, I think that's a really tough thing for like clients to like really like understand without, and how would they know? You know what I mean? But that is really tough.
I'm sure you've been in this situation. I actually saw recently, I'm a part of like Colorado Facebook tattoo groups, and I saw somebody anonymously ask about like, I have this client and they've changed the design 8 times. What do I do? Have you been in that situation? Like, what do you do in that situation? Because I even find it hard to like. I have friends who I tattoo and family members, and they're the worst. Picky. They're the worst. They're so entitled.
I hate tattooing my family.
They're so entitled.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're getting a deal, my friend, and I'm taking time out of my work to tattoo you.
That's so. My dad was like that when I tattooed him. He was being kind of picky, and I was just like, okay, well, that's what I drew, so like. That's what we're gonna tattoo, and he loves it now. But he was like, it was his first tattoo, and he was like very nervous about it. And I was just like, well, that's all. But when it's clients, I think if you're like a few minor changes here and there, like that's fine. I that doesn't bother me. But to redraw a whole design over and over again, at that point, I think it's important to just like visit the idea that I'm not the right guy. Like I'm not the tattooer for you. Like I just like at that point I feel like it's better for both parties to just like, I don't think that I can give you the tattoo that you want. I think that if you're changing that much about a design, that's not the tattooer for you. I think that you should find the tattooer that's just like naturally going to do that for you. I don't know. I think if it's really forced on the tattooer side, you're not getting the best work from them. Like at all, especially if you're like really nitpicking every little, then they're just like doing things that they wouldn't normally do. I think it interrupts the creative process a little bit. So as much as like I do think there is a give and take and like a little bit of a bend there, for me personally, I would tell them that I'm probably not the tattooer for them, and then I also follow that up with, these are the people that I think would give you a better tattoo. And that's worked out really well for me in the past.
That's good.
Yeah, like most people, I think, appreciate the honesty. Honestly, like
I mean, it's a permanent thing that's going to go on
their
body.
And I think just from experience, from times that I didn't do that, I instantly regret it. Like tattoo day, I'm like, yep, I hate this, and I'm like, I'm not having a good time. I don't feel like it's my best work. I'm like compromising too much. And
do you send the drawing ahead of time to people? Yeah, I don't either. So if it's an in-person situation, how do you navigate that? I think that was like that and still is one of the hardest things for me, on top of like the skin's different and needles are different, blah, blah, all the variables, is also dealing with the person. It's like when they come in, I don't know how to navigate like them nitpicking and changing so much, because it's also like, not sound, this might sound rude to some people, they might think this is rude, but they are not a tattoo artist, so sometimes when they want certain things, it's not tattooable.
Well, and a lot of times people don't know what they want. They really like they don't understand that like that's not gonna look well. So I do my best to just educate. Like if something's not gonna work for like very technical reasons or like aesthetically, like I'm very open and honest with like what I think of that idea. Like I don't know, I think it's how you give them that information.
Yeah.
Depends a lot. But for every like bad interaction I've had with people, I've had 10 better interactions. So I think that also for me, I've learned in not bending and compromising too much, I kind of take myself out of those situations that can then be like really toxic and like really uncomfortable, because at that point, if you're like butting heads with a client about a design and like it's starting to feel uncomfortable, and then that client interaction with you is probably going to continue to feel weird and uncomfortable, and then you're gonna sit there with them for hours.
It's hard
And it's really uncomfortable, and it's just like, that's not an experience I want to put myself through, and it's not an experience I want to put anybody else through. So it's just better, I think, and like on the spot, like if there are changes that I can just like really simple, really quickly like make to the design, then I will do that. But if it's something that I'm like, I'm gonna have to redraw a bunch of shit, then we reschedule. And then I take that opportunity to like kind of treat that appointment as more of a consultation of like, now they've seen the design and now we can sit down together and look at it and like, okay, so do you want this? And then you can kind of, then you're better equipped, I think, to like, you know what questions you need to be asking, you know, like, okay, so like this is where the confusion was, like I thought you wanted this and actually you wanted that, but you didn't know that, because they don't know what they want. A lot of the times they don't know what they want or like how to express what they want. That's kind of our job. So I just use that as an opportunity to like get a better idea of it. And then if they were to like still hate it after that, I think at that point I'd be like, I'm just not the right artist for you, and that's okay. And it's like, it's not personal. And I think that's the hardest part in the beginning, is you have to separate yourself and your feelings from your art a little bit in that regard. And if they don't like it, I think a lot of tattoo artists, like myself included, I have taken that very personally before and been like really upset by it. But
sometimes I feel like people too, like I've gotten people who are recommended to me, but then they're like, I love your style, blah blah, and then they send me something that is totally not my style. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot do this.
Yeah, like
and that's hard, because they really, they're like, I love this tattoo that you did. Can you do this crazy mandala like that you don't?
Yeah. No, I've had people, they've scrolled all the way back, as far back as you can in my Instagram, and found like a black and gray tattoo. It's a goldfish that I tattooed, and it's a really good tattoo, so I left it. But it's like a stippled black and gray goldfish, and like I'll have people send me that as their reference photo and be like, I really want this completely different subject matter, but like this. And I'm like, how long did you scroll to find that?
Have you ever
I don't do that anymore.
I had clients where I do like a tattoo, it does really good, and then I have these new clients who send me a text and they send me that same exact tattoo, and they're like, I want this tattoo that you just tattooed on this other person. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I'm always like, yeah, I can draw something similar.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just leave it at that. Like, I don't know, I don't argue with people about it. Like, yeah, we can definitely do something similar. Or like, my husband will do this too. Like, yeah, I could do that in my style.
Yeah.
That's a good, like, I could do it my way.
Yeah.
Or you could, I don't know. Like, and most people are cool with that. They like, I would say if you like 90% of the tattoos on somebody's Instagram page, then you're gonna like whatever they draw for you, usually, you know? I think it's when people start trying to like, I see you do good tattoos, so that must mean you do all tattoos good, and like that, I think that's where things get a little bit complicated, and they're like, oh, but you do so good, like why can't you do this other thing? I can't. But again, I think people appreciate the honesty when you're just like, yeah, I'm not, that's not for me, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but here's like 4 or 5 other tattooers that I think would give you a great tattoo. I think people, I don't know, I think they take the information better that way, because it's very honest. And then like, you're also like, these are artists that I trust, that I would trust to do that tattoo on me if it were me. I think that kind of helps too. Like, they're just like, oh, like, thank you for doing that, instead of just like giving me a fucked up tattoo.
Yeah, so, for sure.
I think most people appreciate it.
You can learn like tattooing from a mentor if your mentor actually teaches you. But learning how to navigate clients, what was that like for you, and how did you learn that? Because I feel like, you know, like when you're starting to tattoo, you're stressed about so much stuff, and then on top of like a lot of clients want to talk now, so that was a big problem with me, is tattooing and talking at once, which I think I just got a handle on, but still navigating like client situations and like, you know, no call no shows being a thing or stuff like that. It's like it's like you have to be like, I'm still a business, I'm sorry that happened, and that's hard sometimes because you're like, oh, I feel bad, you're a good client, but hard. Man, like I have to feed my family.
Yeah, no, and that was a really hard one for me for a really long time, and I don't know, I'll admit, like I think that everybody goes through like a series of ego deaths when you get into tattooing, and I think you go through a big one in your apprenticeship, and then when you graduate your apprenticeship and you're feeling good and you're doing good tattoos, I think you go through another weird ego death right there. And that for me was the hardest part in learning to interact with clients. But I think I learned a lot from my mistakes. I was very abrasive, and like because the culture that I had come up in, like tattooers were very mean, very abrasive, and that's how I learned how to interact with clients, was like I'm a biker, or and like I don't know, I think I learned a lot from that, but years later when there was like a good chunk of time where I was like hadn't quite gone through the ego death yet of like, and I just thought I was the shit, and I was just like, it was right after COVID, so we were booked, like there wasn't a tattoo shop in town that had time, and so like in my mind I was like, well, if you don't like it, there's 10 people in line behind you, so move on. And I very much like almost like embodied that, and I regret it so much now at this point in my career, because I'm like, damn, if I had just like treated people nice, like the way that I had in the beginning of my apprenticeship, or like and like my tattoo career, really, I was like really nice to people, and they would return to me because I was nice, and none of the other tattooers were nice to them. And then when I started to like have that ego of just like, oh well, there's 10 more people behind you, like that, I feel that more now than I did at the time, and I regret that. But of just like, yeah, I should have interacted a little different with clients for sure. I was not the nicest to some people, and I regret that now because it wasn't necessary, and I was just stressed out or whatever. Yeah, I shouldn't have done it. But I think that
we're people.
So. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I think it's hard too when you're interacting with clients that, because there are just some people that like, you just don't want them as clients, like at the end of the day. And I think that was like my biggest takeaway from that, is like just learning to accept that like I'm not going to vibe with everybody.
I mean, if you can't get along over text, how are you going to have them in your chair for like 4 hours?
Yeah, and then you kind of just have to like swallow that uncomfortability for a second and just be like, I don't know, just like thinking to the appointment time of like, how many hours are you going to be spending very close to this person who's already making you uncomfortable, and like, is that worth it to you? And I think for me, like, once I got past the uncomfortability of just being like, I'm just not the one for you, or like, because I think you can pick up really quickly that like that person, like you guys are not vibing. You're not gonna get along with that person, and I think it's very obvious from the beginning. And then just like that people pleaser part of you that like wants to like you feel bad because you like whatever totally. For whatever reason, that kind of, you have to just kind of like sit in that uncomfortable feeling, just like for your own mental health. I think that's the best way to not burn out, I think, with clients, is to just like, I don't know, you have to protect your peace a little bit in this industry. I think it's important.
With what you learned from like going through your apprenticeship and it being like a biker type situation, what do you think you wish would like change in the industry that's still going on from your experiences and your viewpoints?
You know, I think that there's like kind of two sides to that coin, really, because I think a lot of the weird bullying situations that happened to me, I think were really inappropriate, and like they didn't really like do anything for me as a tattooer, as a person, whatever. I think especially like being a woman in the tattoo industry 10 years ago, the way that I was just like objectified and talked to and treated, that was crazy, and I think that needs to change, and I do think it is changing. I think you're seeing more and more female tattooers right now than ever, for sure. And So I don't think that like needs to change. I think that we've already kind of seen that transition where that has changed. I think the biggest thing that I think, I don't know if it's like something that needs to change or stay the same. I do a little bit think that to a certain extent, like the bullying culture of tattooing, I think that it is kind of important. Not in like a degrading, like it not in the same way that it happens to me, but I do think you need to be tough on your apprentices. I think that
they need to get better, and if they're being coddled all the time, they won't get better.
No, exactly. And I think too there's a lot of situations that I'm starting to see where I don't know if it's because of like all of the attention that has been like turned to like what is not right in the tattoo industry, that people are starting to have this sense of like entitlement about an apprenticeship. Like people feel very entitled to your time and everything. They think that it's like something like morally wrong or something for you to like not pay your apprentices and things like that. And that part of the industry I feel like is becoming really problematic of that like ententitlement.
What do you think about the reversal where a mentor is asking for money for an apprenticeship? Because I've met people who are charging like 10 grand for an apprenticeship.
Right. And you know, this is kind of the reason I had my sister come here is because somebody was going to charge her $6,000.
That's so ridiculous.
For an apprenticeship, and I looked at his work, and who taught you how to tattoo? I'm sorry, it was terrible tattoo. Like
sometimes I think like
it was crazy.
From at least what I've learned, I think that it should, like you said, there should be not necessarily like bullying, but you should be hard on them. Yeah. And also like you shouldn't have to pay for an apprenticeship. It's a craft, and if somebody really wants it, you should pass it down to them. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've always kind of explained, because it was really hard for people in my life when I started apprenticing. It was really hard for like normal people to grasp that I wasn't being paid and that I was like devoting literally every second of my life. Yeah, I quit my job. I was told that I would have to quit my job and that I would lose everything in the process. If I wanted to be a tattooer bad enough, that's what I would do. And I did. I did everything that they said. And my family had a really hard time with it because I wasn't being paid and everything else. But what I tell people now is like, you don't get paid to go to college. Yeah. You don't get paid to do a normal job, like in that way, like to get an education. Nobody's paying you to do that. You're paying them. And most tattooers don't charge for apprenticeships. Like most of them don't. And honestly, like I don't think that I'm like fully opposed to it, because you are dedicating so much of your time to an apprentice and your supplies. Like that, it costs you money to teach somebody how to tattoo, and it costs you a lot of time and effort and headache to teach somebody how to tattoo. But I don't know, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, they pay for their apprenticeship with their time and with their working in the shop, cleaning, dealing with clients. Yeah. And that teaches you.
It does, like, it teaches you about, like, cross-contamination and cleanliness and everything else, and then just being around at the shop all the time, you're, like, learning, like, technical skills from every tattooer there, and then also, like, you're able to, like, watch the people in the shop interact with clients, and then take a little bit from everybody about like, oh, okay, so that's how they handled that situation. Maybe that's like what I can do in the future. So yeah, I don't know. I think that where the entitlement comes in, of like people feeling like they want to be taught how to tattoo and they think it's bullshit that they have to clean the shop. It's like, what fucking job exists where you're not sweeping and mopping? And like, I've never worked a job that I didn't have to do that. Whoops.
I mean, we still do that as tattoo artists. You sweep your boots when you get done, because there's fucking hair on the floor.
We clean. Like,
I mean,
I still do that.
It's still a part of the job.
Yeah, and that's what I told our apprentices as well, is like, I'm not going to ask you to do a single thing that I myself would not do or have not done. So, I don't know.
Do you think that there's a wrong way to get into the industry? Because I know that, like, where is it? I can't remember exactly where it is, but I've interviewed somebody and he went to a tattoo school. To his detriment, he did not think he wished he would have gone to an apprenticeship, but that's how his state worked. And then recently interviewing Lena, who is in New York, she told me that they're opening up tattoo schools there, as well as there's just an influx, you know, on social media. People are getting like this view from videos and photos where they think this is the life. I could be an artist, and they're just buying machines off of Amazon and, you know, there's their cat in the background while they're
ripped off is what's happening, dude. They're getting swindled, man, I don't know. I've also seen people, there was a guy, I don't think he's in town anymore, but he was charging people, he was teaching them how to become an apprentice.
What?
And charging them money for it. Isn't that wild?
You just build a portfolio and you draw every day, and then you go shop to shop.
Because they because nobody knows how to get into it, and so
that's
like
stupid.
They were paying him money.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's absurd. As far as like
that's mental.
The tattoo schools, I think that like to your detriment. I don't think that. I'm sorry, there's just like not a reputable shop that's going to hire you.
Dude, I keep getting ads for one. I can't remember where they're at, and their teachers have been tattooing less than I have.
Yeah,
and they look like shit.
See,
their tattoos are
what
shit.
I'm talking about. Where like people are like unwilling to put in the work to like gain the knowledge to be a tattooer, and so I am seeing a lot of people that are like maybe trying an apprenticeship or like trying to get one and not being able to. So then they're just buying a machine on Amazon and then like teaching themselves and then opening a private studio and then apprenticing people, even though they've only been this self-taught tattooer for like a fraction of time, and then they're trying to like teach other people. And that's where I think the industry is going to suffer the most. Is like all that entitlement of like just thinking that like because you want it that you should just be able to do it. It's like, no man, like none of us like got here that easy. Like, I don't know.
I think like that's the problem too, is like with social media, it's showing all the good aspects and not showing how people have to put in the work. Like I was at an apprenticeship where I wasn't an apprentice legally for 6 months. I thought I wasted my time when I actually learned stuff. I worked Friday the 13th with them. I talked to clients. It was like needed for where I was going. And then I went through 2 other people. Like it takes time to get there, you know, and everybody has their own journey. But I feel like a lot of people getting into it now, they want instant gratification, and you know they don't think that they have to go through that. And I know it's hard. It took me a long time to like finally get somebody to say yes to apprenticing me, but like like you said, it's really hard for somebody to like put in all this effort. You have to get along with that mentor too. That's a big thing because you can butt heads with that person, and that's not going to be good.
Well, especially I think now more than ever, like with the internet kind of has like also emerged like all of like cancel culture, and that has made, I think, a lot of tattooers really afraid to take on apprentices because if you're having them do stuff that is like necessary, like cleaning the shop, and they're not being paid, and then they can just go on the internet and make whatever videos, posts about it, and like I think a lot of people are like kind of afraid of that. Like I don't know, I think that kind of has fed into it quite a bit of like people not wanting to do the work and then thinking that it's too much or whatever, and then I don't know, just like getting on their like soapbox of like, this is what they did to me. It's like, I know somebody who was forced to drink pee in order to become a tattooer. Like having to mop the floors is that's not the problem.
So, if anything, I think it's gotten better. In specific states, I've heard, and like more southern states, it's still that kind of mentality. But like Colorado, everybody I've talked to like have had a pretty good time. Like if they're newer in the tattoo industry, they've had good apprenticeships, which I think also like every tattooist has this mindset for some reason, like mine was harder than everybody else's.
It's always like a pissing match.
It is.
No, I definitely I have experienced that where like heard stories of newer tattooers, like everybody's like in a group talking about like that pissing contest of like, oh, mine was harder, like guess what I had to do or whatever, and like feeling like they needed to be a part of that conversation and like make things like, I don't know, like mine was hard because not that like, I don't know, like where they feel like
I have to clean my mentor's car every day, like
like shit like that, like they feel like they have to like be involved in that because tattooers do like to make that into a pissing contest. Which I don't know, man, like just because you had a hard apprenticeship doesn't mean that you're a good tattooer, and
that's true,
and vice versa. But I do think that there's something to be said for harder apprenticeships, like not necessarily, I don't know, I always joke with my sister like, we should have fucking bullied you more, because when she started at her first like big girl shop, she was like very timid at first with like dealing with clients and stuff, or like if people were like overstepping with her, she didn't really know how to handle it at first, and I'm like, we should have bullied you.
That's how I feel 100%, because I was in a private studio, and so I didn't know how to navigate the situation.
Well, and even she will say, she's like, you should have bullied me more, because she's very like timid at first, but she's like very like just in like talking through with me and like me being like, no, that's fucked up, don't that's not a thing, don't let that happen. She's been able to like kind of be like, no, that's wrong, and like stand up for herself, which is really cool. But
I think that also still needs to be things so that rock star mentality isn't a thing. Because when you're told you're the shit all the time, you're gonna think that. And as artists, and especially if you want to do good for your clients, you need to grow, which means you need to be like critical about your work and have others that you talk to help you out.
Yeah, I think that that's been really hard. Like, just in my experience, I've worked in enough shops that like I've definitely like experienced a lot of people through their apprenticeships, and that's been like, that's the easiest way to stop learning, is to like not be able to take criticism from people, because if you ask for help and an artist like genuinely cares and like tries to help you or give you advice, and you don't implement that into your next tattoo, they're going to stop telling you things. They're going to stop teaching you. And if you're not asking for help or like constantly learning, you're going to stop learning. And if you're lucky, you'll get stagnant. But usually you'll just get worse. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's important.
How do you, like, as an apprentice, the distinction between, like, I'm giving you actual advice or I'm telling you, like, I would draw it this way, but it's not, like, necessarily your style? Because that's hard.
That was really hard for me. And because the two apprentices that we had here, that was our first time, like, taking on an apprentice that was, like, actually, like, our apprentice and not just, like, helping out a shop apprentice. And that was really hard. That was really hard in the beginning for me, because like I had to like check myself when critiquing, and I had to like really, like, before I critiqued things, like look at it and figure out like, okay, what's technically wrong with this tattoo or with this design, and what's just like a stylistic difference, because there's definitely like where I'm like, I fucking hate that, but like technically that's fine. And like, so I think just really for me, I had to just check myself and be like, okay, like I wouldn't draw it, like this is how I would draw it, or like this is what I would change. And like for me, as long as I can give a reason as to why I would change that, I feel like it's helpful, and then they can do with that what they want, I think. But yeah, that's a hard one. That's a really hard one. And I think it's hard on both sides too, because it's hard to like
distinguish as an apprentice.
Yeah. And honestly, I learned that from my sister, like the separating yourself from your artwork in this is the only way that you're able to grow. And the second that like she started doing that, I feel like her art has just like taken, like something clicked for her, and like all of the issues that we were having trying to teach her how to draw for tattoos, it just like just overnight like something clicked. And like from that point forward, she started just like drawing more like technically sound, like more cohesive designs. And I ended up asking her like, how have you been so good at, because she took the criticism amazingly, way better than I did when I would like cry and have meltdowns about it and like crash out when I would be critiqued on my artwork. And she was like, yeah, no, I just had to stop taking it so personal. Like, it's literally just a drawing on a page. It's like not my whole personality. And I was like, damn, all right, that was really profound. Like, dude, that's hell yeah, crazy. I learned something from my baby sister. Wow. Yeah, she's very, very emotionally mature. She is. Yeah. She's tattooing here in town.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's at Solana.
How long has she been tattooing?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't remember when she started her apprentice tattoos. She graduated her apprenticeship a couple months ago, like 6 months ago, probably. So she's fresh. She's super fresh, but her tattoos are really nice. She's looking, her stuff's looking really good.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
It takes a while to get there.
I'm a little bit like envious sometimes. I'm like, man, if I would have just had somebody teach me how to tattoo, that would have been sick. Yeah. Like trying to word my my qualms.
Do you feel like even where you are at with tattooing, do you still ever reach out to people and like talk to people? Because I know too many, like, I don't think this is necessarily a thing in Colorado, being like more of a liberal state and like educated, but I've met a lot of old heads who are like, I can't learn anything from anybody, whether or not they've been tattooing longer than me, they're better than me, whatever. And that's not necessarily a mentality I'm like finding here. Everybody's like, I learn from everybody. And like,
and I encourage it. I encourage that.
Do you ever reach out to people too?
I try to like, I don't know, I'm very like, I get turned off very quickly when I am trying to like have a friendly conversation with a tattooer, like over Instagram or something, and I get cool guide. I'm very instantly like turned off from that. I'm like, oh do I actually like your work that much? Like, I don't know. It's like very like off-putting to me.
So you don't like I think it's weird to like. I think we should gatekeep the industry, but in a way like we were talking about with the apprenticeships, and like it should be a certain way, but not like abuse.
Yeah.
But as far as like sharing tips and tattooing, I think that should be allowed.
No, 100%. And I more so recently, I think I've kind of changed like the way that I interact with other tattooers or like apprentices, or I don't know, like I like to look back on my apprenticeship and think about like what actually did help me, like who helped me, and like who didn't help me at all. You know what I mean? Like I definitely had a mentor that every time I would show him a design or a tattoo I did or whatever, I would just get a like, looks good, kid. And like,
that's not helpful.
Man, I didn't learn how to do fucking anything until I left my apprentice or left the shop that I apprenticed at. Is when I finally started.
Did you
learning
have that
how to
mentality
tattoo.
of like, I can't teach you; you just have to start tattooing and then you'll learn?
A little bit, like a little of this, a little of that. Where I was like, I can, and that's what we told them. Like, I can teach you everything I know, and I don't know enough. Yeah. So like you're going to have to learn from other people too, and you're gonna have to like understand that like tattooing isn't one size fits all.
What's been the biggest thing that's like helped you with that growth? Because like I mean your tattoos are stellar, and I've gone back on your page and I looked at like you've grown a lot.
You know what's crazy?
And your color is so fucking vibrant, bro.
Thank you. What's really crazy about that is that growth. I did a mass purge on my Instagram when I like was early in tattooing, and I wish I didn't, because I do think it's really cool to see that growth. But where you see my style change and like the growth, I feel like there's like very distinct parts where like I'm doing something for like up to here, and then all of a sudden something changed. And the thing that changed is I moved shops every single time. Every single time my style or like anything has like improved in my tattooing, it's because I worked with somebody new and I learned. You
always want to be the worst tattooer in your shop.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that that's the only way that you can grow. Like I don't want to be surrounded by people that I feel like aren't like like not. I don't know, that just like aren't on the same like wavelength as me. I don't
artists. Want to. You want to be surrounded by artists.
Yeah, I want to be surrounded by people that like want to learn and grow and like. I think that we've definitely got that here. I think it's really cool that everybody here like likes to learn. We all kind of like bounce things off of each other. I think that I don't know. It's really cool to be able to learn from other people, and like guest spotting. I think is like probably the best thing you can do for your career is guest spot as much as you can, because I don't know. I've had like almost nothing but good experiences guest spotting, and I've learned so much in doing that. And then having guest artists come here, I feel like I've learned more about color from my buddy Mark than like he's taught me more about tattooing than anybody in this industry. Like I've learned so much from him, and he's just like a guest artist that comes to town and just like is super open and like not gatekeepy and weird, and like will teach me things if I ask him, and he enjoys doing that. And so when I think back on like people that like what did they help me and what actually helped, and like the people that like had a hand in like where I'm at today, I want to be that when people ask me for things. Like I don't know, I don't want to be a fucking dick all the time. Like I don't know, like if somebody wants to learn some shit, like if I can, I will help you. So I don't know, I think that that's important for growth all around. And it's another one of those like ego deaths of like as soon as you stop trying to like be the best tattooer in the room and you just like can collaborate with other people, that's when like your work starts to get better. And like I don't know, I think that's super super cool about the industry for sure.
Yeah. As far as like guest spotting goes, where have you guest spotted? And then like, do you ever feel like whenever I've guest spotted, it takes me a little bit to get used to the environment? I'm like, where's my saran wrap? Where the fuck did it? What?
Dude, it takes me like 2 hours to set up.
Yeah.
Like my first day, I'm just like I'm stressed out and I'm panicking and like I don't know where anything is, and no, it's hard. I've guest spotted. Where have we guest spotted? We did a guest spot at Dave Cruzman's shop in Maryland. That was really cool. That was like one of my favorite guest spots that we've done.
You guys do it as a shop, or you and your husband?
It was me and my husband, yeah. And he's guest spotted in San Diego because that's where he apprenticed, and so he's done a guest spot there. Like once or twice since we've been together. I didn't start guest spotting until we got together. I was too anxious and nervous.
That's how
and
I feel. I've only guest spotted with people that I know, and I've gotten offers like in different places from doing the podcast or talking to other artists, but I'm like scared to go by myself.
Yeah, dude, it is. It's very intimidating. I think it was really hard for me when we were guest spotting the most and traveling the most. That was like a point in my career that I was like the most insecure and like the most anxious and nervous, and so that kind of like ruined the experience for me a little bit, where I just like I wasn't having fun, and I just like I don't know, that was bad.
The energy that you feel, as much as we try to like leave it at the door as tattoo artists, it culminates in our tattoos for sure, which is unfortunate. But
well, and like since opening this shop and like getting sober and stuff, like the getting sober helped with the anxiety so much, but I just like I have such a different confidence with tattooing that I feel like if I were to guest spot now, I could handle the situation a lot better. Whereas like before, I was so anxious and so nervous that I wasn't finishing tattoos, and that's
crazy,
terrible to do on a guest spot. To like go travel somewhere, I did a bunch of tattoos and I didn't finish a lot of them because I was so anxious and like in my head or whatever the reason, and I still think about those people sometimes where I'm like, yeah, that was shitty. Like I don't know if they got the tattoos finished by somebody else, or I don't know, like traveling's not really in the cards for us right now. We've got a new baby, and so I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever go back. I don't know if I'll ever finish these pieces, and that sucks. Like it really sucks. And I feel like now that I'm like more confident and like I have a better like handle of like what I know I can complete, I think that helps. I like if I were to guest spot now, I don't think that I would take on like as big of tattoos as I took on in some of these places. But yeah, I don't know. It's scary at first because I was afraid to like I was afraid to ask because I was like, I'm not fucking good enough to work there, or like I don't know, like just thinking like that they. But at the end of the day, the worst thing that will happen is they'll say no. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, they're happy to have you. Like most people are happy to have a guest artist. Yeah. I think. I don't know. I've had, I guess, back to where I've guest spotted. I've guest spotted in Maryland. I've done a guest spot in Oakland. That one was rough. And then I've done. I don't know. I feel like we've done more than that, but those are like the two that really stand out to me. We've done a lot of tattooing like in like weird places more than like guest spots, but like I don't know, like tattooing bands and stuff where we're like tattooing on like a fucking bus or in a hotel room or something crazy like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Oakland guest spot kind of showed me that like okay, not all guest spots are the same. that one was tough, and that was like my only bad experience. And it wasn't even like it was really cool. The people that I met, like the other artists that I met while doing that, it was the shop that like kind of ruined that for me a little bit. So I would say like a tale of caution, I guess. So like when you are gonna guest spot somewhere, like I don't know, I would like maybe look into the shop that's hosting you and just like ask them a lot of questions, like get a feel for like what that is gonna look like, and like
as far as like when you're guest spotting and stuff, what do you think like percentage wise is fair? Because I've known some shops that have some crazy percentages, and I'm like, really? I don't know if that's necessarily
that's not worth it.
Fair.
No, I think if like for us, especially like when we have guest artists, I'm very much on the page of like I want to make sure that like you have a good time more than like I'm not as worried about like how I'm gonna profit off of a guest artist. Like it's more I want to make sure that like they're fed and they're taken care of, and that they have a good experience here. And that they would want to come back. Yeah. You know? I'm trying to think how we do it.
That's a good mentality to have.
Yeah, because, like, at the end of the, like, because I've guest spotted, I know, like,
it's expensive.
We're lucky to break even. Like, that's, like, you're hoping to break even. You usually, as a guest artist, like, we have never really profited from guesting, but we've gotten really cool experiences in doing that, and I've learned a lot, and I've, like, been able to make, like, really cool relationships with other tattooers. Where I might not have been able to like really like form a relationship with them had I not worked alongside them for a few days. I think I don't know, typically it's like a 70-30. I think is like I wouldn't do personally, like it wouldn't be worth it to me to do anything like more than that, like 30% to a shop as a traveling artist, because you have to pay for your travel, you have to pay for hotels, like there's so many other things that go into it.
Sometimes you bring your own supplies most of the time.
Yeah. And I don't think that it would be worth it, because then like you're losing money to do it. I don't know, like that to me, like I think if you want guest artists or you want to guest spot, like it needs to be worth your time, it needs to be worth their time, and I think that's more important. So I'd say anything more than a 70-30 would be wild. Like I wouldn't pay more than 30% to it. I don't know. That wouldn't be worth it to me. But typically it's like more of like a 80-20, or like sometimes it'll be like a flat rate, like $200, $300 or whatever, which is cool. Like I don't know. The way we do it is we offer either. So like whichever one works out more in their favor, they can do. So, like, if it's easier for you to do, like, 80-20, like, if that works out more in your favor, then do that. Or if it works out more in your favor to just do, like, $200 or I think it's, like, $250 for, like, per week or whatever, then that makes more sense to us.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, we want to make sure you're fed and you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good mentality to have. I wanted to ask about, like, working with your husband, because you work with him, you go home with him, you have a baby with him.
I know. Everybody thought that was so crazy at the beginning.
I think it's cool. That's how my parents are. They're, like, best friends. And I was actually talking to my dad about interviewing you, and I was like, I'm excited to ask her about working with her husband, because I just know so many couples who that would drive them fucking mad, which to me doesn't make sense, because I want to be around my fucking boyfriend all the time. But
you know, I think tattooing is like the perfect environment for it. Like, we're working together, like we're in the same room, but like I'm in this world with my client, and he's in that world with his client, and like I don't know, it's never been an issue for us. Like, I don't know, when we met we didn't work at the same shop, and then they ended up like offering for us to work together, and I was like really on the fence about it. I was like, is that a bad idea? Just like, is this? And then we did it, and like we haven't looked back since. Like, I can't imagine not working with him. It's like kind of a bummer for me now, because he works in the morning and then I work at night, so we don't actually work together anymore. But yeah, no, it's great. I am very much like almost an advocate for, like, if you're a tattooer and dating's hard, date another tattooer, because like I don't know if they get it, and then I don't think it's like.
I do think it's hard, like, you know, I fucking work all the time, and we'll be out doing stuff, and I know that I annoy him because I'm, like, talking to clients, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a really hard balance, the work-life balance, especially with social media. That's really hard.
I have a hard time, too, and I've had artists tell me that, like, if somebody really wants to get tattooed by you, you can give it a little bit. You don't have to answer immediately, but I like being right on top of my shit. Right. I get a message, I fucking answer it. I like, you know?
Yeah, well, and people appreciate that more. Like, my husband definitely struggles with that a lot. It's like the only bad review he's ever gotten was that, like, he didn't respond fast enough or something. It's like, but everything else is fucking awesome about him. It's just, I don't know, it is hard. It's really hard to, like, find that balance, especially when you start adding in factors like kids and all of the things that come with family life. I think that's really tricky, and we've very much adopted that mentality of, like, if they want to get tattooed by you, like, they can wait a few days to get a response. And I think a lot of people are kind of used to that, but I do think they appreciate a quick response a lot more, because a lot of tattooers have that mentality of just like, they can wait
3 to 5 business days. I'll get back to you.
Like, I don't know. There is a feature on Instagram to do an automatic response.
Nobody freaking uses that. I have that shit. And
so I used to have it. It was cool, except it does it to every message. So every single time, so when I would be actively responding to people, I'd have to turn it off, or else it would just, like, every fucking message be like, hi, thanks so much for contacting me. It's so fucking annoying. I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what's happening.
See, I recently got a booking app because I tried email, and then they didn't stay to email, it went to Instagram, so then I was using Instagram for the longest time, but I just had such a problem of, like, and I hate saying this, but time wasters, where I'd be talking to them for hours and hours and hours,
and booking apps
they wouldn't book, and so now it's like, if they're really for sure, they fill out all their information, send me the vote, like, it has everything for me, and I don't have to, like, re-ask. I don't know if you've had that problem.
Yeah, no, which booking app do you use?
It's Porter.
We use, we've been using Acuity for, like, years now, and, like, that thing has saved so much, like, I went from being that tattooer that wasn't responding for, like, my automated message said it could take anywhere from 10 to 14 business days, because it would sometimes take me 2 weeks to respond to people, because I would have just
there's so much back and forth,
just a absurd amount of messages, and then, like, just the taunting task of doing that, like, I don't want to fucking do that, and then I would put it off and put it off and put it off, and having the scheduling page where, like, if they want to pick a day, they have to fill out a request form, and then on that request form, they cannot submit it if they don't answer these questions. There's, like, certain questions on there that, like, you cannot press go until you answer the fucking question, and that has saved, like, so much of the back and forth, because then I would wait 2 weeks, and then I'd go through all my messages. It would take me, like, 3 fucking hours to respond to all these people, and then I'd be done. I wouldn't look at it again for another 2 fucking weeks, and then, like, people would get lost in that back and forth, because, like, they'd be like, I would be asking them, like, oh, like, how big do you want it, or whatever, and then they don't hear from me for 2 weeks. It's like, they could have just gotten themselves scheduled if I had that app to, like, here's the form, please fill it out. You can't get tattooed by me without filling this out. And that has saved. Now I'm, like, very on top of my messages. I don't have, like, 200 unread messages at any point ever. I will have, like, usually 3 or 4, and it's, like, memes from my friends. Like, it's not this absurd thing. But I am too scared to put the link to the booking app on my page. Like, they still have to, I still have to, like, have an interaction with them before I give it to them.
This'll, like, it has, like, a built-in messaging, so it goes straight to their phone number. It also sends them aftercare instructions digitally. It does digital paperwork, because, like, in Oklahoma, you have to keep your paperwork for 3 years.
Oh,
so I have a shit ton of paperwork, and I hate having all of it, like.
That's what we do.
Yeah, it's
and it sends it to an email, so we set up a separate. So it's all digital, so that we don't.
See, that's nice, and then you don't have to, and you have it forever too.
No, it's awesome.
But I just, like, I Reels do the best, and I'll get bookings always from Reels. But I've realized, like, they'll either read the description, book and bio, and they'll do it, or they'll send me a message, how much is this tattoo, and I'm like, book and bio. And then if they keep doing it, I'm like, you're not going to get tattooed. Like, it's a pretty quick, like.
No, it is, like, it kind of weeds out the people. It's like, oh, if you can't.
It's like when you're out and about and people are like, I love your tattoos. And then they want to consult in person. This is like the same thing, but digital. So it's just, like,
no, it is funny. Like, I do have people, it's not as common now, but I do have people reaching out, like, hey, how do I schedule a consultation with you? And I'm like, right now, like, that's kind of a struggle that I'm having, where I'm like, how do I politely tell them I don't do that, because you're gonna tell me everything I need to know in this, and then if I need a consult, but, like, I also have to remember that that, like, might be, like, scary for them to not have a consult, so I'm still, like, down to do it, but also I, like, want to let people know, like, it's not necessary to I don't need to do that, because I have this very extensive fucking piece of paper that you have to fill out.
Have you thought about doing, like, digital consultations, like, over Zoom and stuff? I've heard of more tattoo artists doing that.
I've done that for guest spots, for sure. I've definitely done that. I think that would make more sense to me than, like, I live almost to Loveland, so, like, it's not, like, a quick trip to the show. I mean, it is, but it's, like,
it was, like, to get here, like, 38 minutes for me, and I'm in Loveland. So,
see, it's, like, it takes me about 25-30 minutes to get here, so it's, like, I could just pop, but, like, I don't know. I feel like unless we're doing, like, a huge tattoo, I don't see the point in doing a consultation. Like, send me some reference photos, and then, like, if I have questions, I'll ask you. And usually that works out pretty well, but I don't know. I think that the app we use, I think there's an option to do all of that. I think we just, like, went real basic with it, because it'll send, like, text reminders and.
I love that, by the way, because I had a problem of, like, when I was using Instagram, so I was doing the text reminders myself the day before. I'd have, like, a written thing, send it to them, and then they wouldn't fucking respond, and then I'd be like, oh my god, is this person gonna come in? And then I'd go into work, and 9 times out of 10 they come in, but sometimes there was that one person where they just forgot to respond and something happened, or blah 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 blah. So this, like, they have to be like, yes, I'm coming in, like, confirm. So I really really like that, because then I'm like,
that's
cool. Get that anxiety.
Mine doesn't have, like, a thing where, like, they confirm it. It's just like, it's like a reminder to them. And for me, like, right now, I'm just like, if you no-show me, if you no-call no-show me, and I know you got a fucking text message and an email reminder, like,
I don't know how people do that, by the way, especially with, like, making deposits. Like, I had, like, a year ago, this girl make $100 deposit because it was an expensive tattoo, and then she just didn't show up. and like said she forgot about it. And I was like, how do you forget about, like, I'm so excited for getting a new tattoo, and you're putting a deposit towards it. It's like, that's lost money.
Like, wasted your fucking money. Or like when people try to get their deposit back. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not what the deposit is there for. This exact.
Yeah.
And that's
it's there for my drawing time. It's there for my time that I come up to the shop, and then you're like, it's 5 minutes past, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not here anymore. Like,
yeah. No, I think in theory, like, all of that, I think we all agree on it, and then like in practice, it's very like, when people like don't fucking show up or cancel at the last second, it's very hard for me personally to be like, oh, you lost your deposit. Like, sometimes that's a hard conversation to have, because
I feel that way when I have like really good clients.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at.
Whenever I first started, I started this thing where I was like, if you have booked 3 appointments with me and always showed up, you don't have to make a deposit. And then I had some clients ruin that for people, and so now I just always have a deposit.
Yeah, there's always like and it's like your best client that like feels like a homie that does it too, and you're just like, you can't do that.
I told them they need at least like I used to do 48 hours, but now I say 72 hours notice.
Yeah.
And then they can float it to a new date. But like I just got tired of the people very last minute, like or people being late started being a thing. And if you have 2 scheduled at the same time, you're cutting into the other client's time, and that's not fair to that person, you know.
Yeah. I mean, doctors' offices and stuff do it too. Like, I don't know, like, that's kind of my way to like.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
A doctor's office is gonna fucking charge you and like cancel your shit.
They say get there 15 minutes before, fill out paperwork, and fucking be there. And I feel like tattoo artists deserve that same respect. Yeah. But I don't think we get it because of the way it's
just the lines are very blurred with tattoo artists, and like I think social media is to blame for that, because the interactions are on Instagram and people expect instant responses, and then like there is like that weird blurred line where like I'm up late a lot of times drawing or whatever, and like if I have a question about a tattoo that I'm about to do, I draw like night before, morning of, and then I'm like messaging them at like midnight or whatever, so it does blur those lines a little bit where people, I don't know, they don't take it as seriously, or there's, and like obviously we talk like how we would normally talk. There's not like there's no HR in tattooing, so there's not like this, like there's some professionalism for sure, but like it's very blurred, and I think people kind of, they get it in their heads that like, oh, it'll be fine, like they're really cool, and like, no, but like my time's like,
it's valuable.
It's very valuable. Yeah. No. I think it was last week, my husband had somebody scheduled for 2 back-to-back days, full days, and he just like last minute canceled.
Dude, fuck
like
that.
2 full day appointments in his schedule, and then his appointment for the following day also canceled.
Yeah, and we have to try to fill that, and then that's
a full week
of
work.
Money. That sucks.
Yeah,
like, I get that.
God damn, dude, you can't do that.
I had this thing happen right before I moved, and it was my only negative review I'd ever gotten, and it wasn't even from my client. It was from their partner. I booked a touch-up, and I do it before because a touch-up is always minor, you know? Yeah. They ended up being 35 minutes late. I had an appointment scheduled, like, right after them. I gave an hour for the touch-up because it's a fucking touch-up. Yeah. And they arrived. They brought a dog that was not. Oh. And then I was, you know, talking to the client. I was like, okay, where do you want it touch-up? Because it didn't really seem like it needed it, but I was whatever. Yeah. And then they go, well, what about doing the whole thing over again? And I was like, I don't have time for that today. I'm sorry. And I was like, you also brought a dog in the shop. Like,
and like, you're not touching up things just for the sake of like.
I was like, you realize like this is like a free thing because it's a minor touch up. If you want me to go over the whole thing, I'm gonna have to charge you again for it. And they left, and then their partner wrote a very negative review about how I still had like 40 minutes left before my other client got there, and I could have done the whole tattoo again and all this stuff. And I was like,
how long has he been tattooing?
Exactly. And even if I would have had time, they brought a puppy to the shop, and I'm not gonna allow like a non-service animal into a shop.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Just bringing a dog.
Yes.
Dude, there's a girl down in Denver who's a tattooer, and she like posted something on her story about how a woman had brought this like very like sick puppy in her purse with her to the tattoo shop, who like needed a lot of like medical assistance, like she didn't know that the dog was there until like an hour into the appointment or whatever, and then she was just like, wait, what the fuck is happening?
Holy
like, what do you mean there's a dog in here? It's crazy.
Oh my god.
This woman just had like this like ill dog in her purse. What? You can't do that.
I'm no animals unless they're service animals, and no fucking kids. No kids in shops.
Yeah, seeing a lot of people, they like have a problem with that. I will say, being in this like more private atmosphere, it has not once ever been an issue here. But working in street shops and like people bringing their fucking kids,
this is like, it's an adult environment, and we're dealing with bloodborns, and I've just seen like instances where kids touch the tray and touch needles with their bare little hands. And I don't.
No, even when we bring my 1.5-year-old in here, like, he comes in here and the first thing he wants to touch is that. He goes, or the trash can. It's always sharps container or trash can. It's like, okay, this is why you're not allowed here. It's like, oh my god, no. But I've definitely like had experiences where like we've got a full it's like a Friday or Saturday, it's a full shop, everybody's tattooing, and then like one person's client brings their loud ass kid, and I have kids, man. Like, I have kids, I get it, but like, I don't bring them to for hours. For hours, you're gonna have them do what? And like, no, you can't do that. And her kid was like running through the studio, like through people's stations, and he was like throwing a water bottle. And like, we're like tattooing, so like if you're focused, and then the water bottle like crash on the ground, or like hit something, knock something off the wall.
Oh my god!
And she just like could give a fuck that her kid was just like.
That's what I don't understand when people bring their kids into the shop. They're always like, they just don't care. I've had clients leave their children with me when they went to the bathroom, and I'm like, and then like this little girl was going into my coworker's booths, and I had to be like, grab her little backpack and be like, sit down, here's some candy, like, be good. I'm like, I'm not even.
I'm not a babysitter. No way, dude. No way.
Yeah.
See, and I get like, I was the mom at the shop. I was like, one other person had kids at that shop, and I was the most that was like, no, you cannot be bringing your kids in here. That's crazy. No, no, I would never. That's crazy. For hours, what are they supposed to do?
That's true, and they can't sit there forever.
They'll
be like, mommy,
and
when are you done?
It was really shitty too, because like everybody was like very like frustrated with this kid, and it's like, it's not his fault. He's being a kid.
Fault.
Like, it's literally not. I'm pissed off at the mom for like allowing this to happen, but it was like, this is just like a shitty situation for everybody involved, and it was just like, could have been avoided. Very much could have been avoided. Yeah.
I will keep yapping, and I have stuff to do today, and I'm sure you do too, so I don't want to hold any more of your time. But I did want to ask, I always like to ask this at the end of the podcast, what advice do you have for people coming into the industry? What are some red flags you'd say to avoid, and just like general knowledge of what to expect?
I would say, coming into the industry, pick your mentors wisely. I don't know, I think that it's really easy to get excited to want to start an apprenticeship, and so you'll like, I did this where it was like a weird situation, and I was offered an apprenticeship. Hindsight, if I could do it different, I would have benefited a lot more in my career if I had picked somebody that was like really talented, and that did the style that I was wanting to learn. I think that's really important. I think that just pick your mentor wisely, and also, like, when trying to get into the industry, I think it's really important. I don't think that it's a tattooer's job to teach you how to draw. I really don't. I think that is your job. I think that you should just know how to draw going into it, and then we're teaching you a different medium. So I always, anytime people ask me for advice or whatever, I always suggest look at the kind of art that tattooers do, which is usually like spit shading, some form of like watercolor painting or something, and paint flash. Like, don't come to a tattoo shop with a portfolio that's just like random sketches that you did on like, that's not what they want to see.
Pinterest designs.
Yeah, or like even just like I think 9 times out of 10 it's like people like they'll draw like an eyeball with a pencil on like a piece of paper, or you know what I mean? It's like literally just sketches.
They come in with like one little thing not refined, and they're like, I want an apprenticeship.
Yeah, or like a book full of just torn out like sketchbook doodles. A lot of the times it's like doodles that people are like, I want an apprenticeship, and like or like show up with no portfolio at all. And I think personally, what I think stands out to a tattooer more than that is if you have hand-painted flash that looks like tattoos, that looks like these, and like you've shown that like you've already kind of taken a step in that direction, I think that that's like your best bet. That's what's going to make you stand out to a tattooer. It's also what's going to show a tattooer that you're serious about it.
Yeah. And going shop to shop, not Instagramming or calling.
No, and that like that's an instant no for me. Is if somebody like asks for an apprenticeship and like followed me that morning.
Yeah.
Like, no, like get to know them like via Instagram or whatever. Follow a bunch of tattooers.
Go get tattooed by them.
Go get tattooed by them. I think build a relationship with somebody before you ask them to spend a lot of their time and money on you. Like, I think that that's really important as well. And then in getting tattooed by them, you'll get to know them and you'll know if you vibe or not. Like, you'll know if like, maybe that's not the person I want to be teaching me how to tattoo. So that would be my best advice getting into it.
Yeah. Making sure there's a trial period while you're at the shop too. Because I know some shops are just right away apprenticeship, and I think there needs to be at least a week, sometimes a month, because you need to get to know the people you're going to be around. Because it's not just the mentor; it's the shop as well. You have to get along with those people too.
I had to do a trial.
It's a cog.
Yeah, it is. Your life will be a living hell if you're not vibing with the people that you're working with in the tattoo industry. You spend more time with those people than you do with your family often. So.
That's true.
You got to make sure you get along with them.
Yeah,
at least a little bit. But
well, I appreciate you so much having you on. I had such a good conversation with you. Will you let them know where you can get booked and all that information?
Instagram is definitely that would be. There's not really another way to get a hold of me. You could try. Some people try Facebook. I don't check Facebook, so Instagram, direct message on Instagram is like the fastest, easiest way. And if they don't have Instagram, I don't really know. I mean, we have a shop phone number. I don't know it off the top of my head. Instagram is by far the easiest, quickest way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then I'm at Area 69.
Yay! Thank you so much. That was so fun.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Tattoo Consciousness. Make sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date. And if you'd like to support the podcast, please make sure to check out my website for original art and prints, as well as sharing to your friends and family. See you next time.